the future of jobs in technology and the situation of women in it. Where are we? What can we do to make the change we want to be possible? All right, and joining us today, we are going to have the panel moderated by the serial entrepreneur Andrzej Mikołajewski, and he will be joined by Katarzyna Berbek, ICSSEC SA, from ICSSEC SA, also by Adriana Błażej from HR Hints. Joining them as well will be Anna Musiał from Trakia.io. Joining them as well will be Nadia Belkacem from Nest Fund. And of course, we are ready to have them now. And guys, welcome to the stage. Go on, don't be shy. All right, you take it from here, Andrzej. I trust you. You can do well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so we are going to build up on the discussion that we had just a brief moment ago. A lot have been said, but I'm pretty sure we are able to bring additional perspectives to the whole topic, also on the broader theme of a future of a work in the IT sector. So at the very beginning, I would like to invite each of you to say a few words about you and what perspective, from where are you coming here. And yeah, so maybe let's start from the opposite side of the table, please.
Okay. My name is, I don't know if it's working. Hello. My name is Katarzyna Berbek, and I'm a co-founder of ICSSEC. This is a deep tech company producing cybersecurity solutions dedicated to industry. I'm also ex-corpo person, so 10 years in consulting business in Big Four. And since 2018, dealing with cybersecurity and IT projects and technology. So I will bring the perspective of small business, but also with the experience from a big corporation.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hello, it's my pleasure to be here today. My name is Nadia Belkacem, and I am a portfolio manager in Nest Poland. For introducing you a little about Nest, we are a non-profit organization located in the US, but with offices also in Poland, Romania, and Latin America. And we invest on enterprises who create dignified, quality, and sustainable jobs for marginalized people, women, and youth. And it's our main mission to invest on this impact, social impact, but also environmental. We also designed a corporate engagement for corporates. It's a program where we cooperate with them on volunteer engagement impact. And very often that they gives to our social enterprises mentoring sessions, support of their knowledge, also a lot of additional impacts.
Great.
Hello. Hello. Oh, I hear myself. My name is Anna, and I co-founder of a really really young startup. We built an applicant tracking system, and for us is some kind of adventure, because I have a strong business background, and I feel really good with high risk. it's my environment when I feel really, really. It's really important to me. My business partner is younger, and one of them is a woman, and one of them is a man, and we try build really a mixed team, connected our creative, and we knew and we believe we get success.
Wonderful. So I hope we won't make a high-risk environment here.
Yes.
So we have a perspective from a CyberSec firm and business, from a social impact investment, from a small startup. And what perspective do you bring to the table?
Hi, hello. My name is Adriana. I'm People and Culture Partner from HR Hints, and we help startups build strong and diverse organizational cultures. We also help them to build non-biased recruitment processes. So this is the perspective that I want to bring into this discussion. I'm also a mentor and coach, psychologist to be, so the perspective of psychology will be also from my side. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So the main theme on which we are going to operate is not only the particular situation that we are in, but also the future of a job in IT. And obviously the hottest topic right now is AI, and I want to at least bridge it to the topic of women representation, or maybe we can broaden it a little and talk a bit more about the diversity in a workplace, because it is, in my opinion, too often limited to the role of the woman in the workplace, when the diversity theme is much broader. And maybe this will be one of our great escapes from being redundant toward the discussion that just had place on the stage. But I would like to maybe start with some data, because one of the co-organizers of this conference, Talenti, has provided us with a report about the state of affairs also when it comes to the gender representation in the sector. And just maybe two single things: that among those who are working in IT, only 16% are women or female programmers, and among all women representatives in the sector, only half work in technical roles, which means that we have around 30% of female representatives or women in tech in general. And as we also have heard, it is far from being satisfying metric, also due to pure business reasons, because we know how stronger and how much stronger are organizations that are built with women in managerial role, in founder's role, or just as a everyday employee. So maybe we can start as we started the presentation with the perspective from CyberSec, because it used to be a very male-dominated subsector of industry with, I would say, hard obstacles to overcome to actually enter it when you're a woman. But you did it. So if you can say maybe a few words about the story, but also what has changed and what is your perspective on this specific subsector. And yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to cybersecurity, so the statistics are even worse than generally in technology. So the representation of women in cybersecurity, working in cybersecurity, this is 25% out of all experts working for the cybersecurity. So this is not a lot. But what is optimistic is the fact that if women are in the business, in the cybersecurity business, then they very often reach the highest positions. So the representation of women among CTOs, CISOs, IT directors is even higher in cybersecurity towards men. So this is very optimistic thing, and this is in fact, very male-dominated environment, because most of roles are purely technical. Yes, and these roles are the most desired ones. Yes, so as soon as we will not have enough women graduating STEM universities, STEM fields, the representation in that field will not be satisfying. But what I would like to raise, because maybe not everybody is aware that that cybersecurity is not only the technical thing, yes, because cybersecurity is so broad area, it covers so many domains. And probably you may not be aware that, for example, dealing with cybersecurity frameworks or standards like ISO, like NIST framework, and many more, this is not so strongly technical thing, and it in fact there are many fields that requires very multi-sectoral skills to deal with, and I think that women are privileged here, because women very huge skill is, you know, connecting the dots, working in harmony between different types of peoples and experts. Yes, so I think that this should be raised, that this is not only technical things, that leadership skills are required, combining those differentiated environments is also important. And here I would see women role as a vital role, yes, and key role. Yes, so this is also my role. I'm responsible for strategic projects, so focus on developing new functionalities, new products, new IT products, but more from business perspective. Yes, so this is the niche that I found for me, and I'm also the representative of board when it comes to ISO, quality and information security. So I would recommend also that direction if you don't want to be strictly technical. But of course, technical field is also interesting one.
So you're in a perfect position to actually answer the question about the future of the sector, at least subsector of IT. So what are your expectations toward next 5 years in a cybersecurity domain?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a very important question, because probably most of you don't realize that there is a serious skills gap in cybersecurity, and this gap is reaching now approximately 3.5 or even 4 million experts. So whatever cybersecurity domain you choose, you will be hired. So please consider developing your career path in this direction. So cybersecurity experts are now most wanted on the market, even more wanted than IT specialists. I would even say that even more than AI specialists. However, we also hire AI specialists because our solution is based on AI, so we also have data scientists working on different algorithms, and developers that are coding those algorithms in the proper way. But as I mentioned, the cybersecurity skill gap is huge. There are many initiatives engaging women, encouraging women to join this community. Also in Poland, just Google it and you will find many of them. Even today I found one, so if you want I can share after the panel. what is also important, cybersecurity is diverse. So we talk now about cybersecurity in IT networks and in OT networks. And OT networks stands for industrial cybersecurity. And here the skill gap is even bigger, because this is, you know, like desert island, yes? This is the area that was not covered so far, so the awareness is quite low here. So also the experts are missing here extremely. Yeah.
Okay, I would love to dive into the actual future of the security, because you might notice in your mailbox that the scammers are started to winning the battle again. And there's like a huge thing to be addressed, but let's park it for a moment and move on with another panelist. Anna, you are also running a company that is run by a woman, but it's also that is going to help other companies in the hire and recruitment process. And what is your approach toward the diversity, toward addressing our common, as I believe, need to raise the number of women in tech? Do you envision any specific metrics, instruments? What is your approach? And maybe what is also your experience in this regard?
In my experience, I have connecting with HR. So it's a women environment. And when it is. So I have really good support with to the other women, but I go to the men game. So the rules is not. I know which. I know that a different game, but I believe that in near future probably it will change, but it's really longer. We need the time. What we can do, we can show that only connect women and men in a business could give a better solution. We are creative. When we build our business, we have to be creative, because we have so many problems, and we have a different problems than men, of course. But you know, the business life is a hard life.
Okay, so to build upon it, Adriana, you are also working for a HR connected company, and maybe you can develop the question: what is the unique perspective that having women in teams brings, or is there anything specific to that? And also, that's a huge question, and then maybe
Yeah, because actually it's like I have two wolves fighting inside of me, because I don't want to encourage us together that we as a women have the same skills and we have the same abilities to perform specific roles. And of course we are in the process. We are in the middle of changes from the society perspective as well, and there is no deadline of this process, and there is no end point of this process. and this shouldn't be treated that the end point is when we as a women will become as strong as men, and this will be the final stage, and this will be enough. I think the final stage is when we understand that this is not about the gender, this is all about the skills, and we can be confident enough. And I see this from my perspective, and I see this when I work as a mentor, as a people and culture partner, when I conduct recruitment processes, that women tend to underestimate their skills, language skills, technical skills, because they are not fully sure they can meet all requirements, and only then they can apply for a specific role, because they have so much pressure on their shoulders, and it's related also to the social perspective roles that we have, that we have this approach that we need to prove something to like have the final like tick or approval or the stamp that yeah, you can be on this role. And this is something that we need still work on, and like build also such organizational cultures when we can show that this is not about the genders, this is all about the skills, and we can have such behaviors, and we can strengthen such behaviors in companies. We can build programs, we can encourage women to apply and show them that we have the same processes for women and for men. And yeah, this is the perspective that we have in HR Hints as well.
I would like to push it a little, because I'm not into the discourse that all we have to do is to just reproduce the world that is currently as it is right now, but with just an equal number of women and other, I would say, minorities on board. It's like, I do believe that women of the world take over, and that also means that bring something new, like another hierarchy of values, maybe not so short-term profit-oriented, etc. So is there anything that, from this perspective, that, and now I, like prolonging this question to all of you, that you see that can be changed in the ecosystem because of the greater participation of women? Or are we just playing as it was said, just the male game? Mm-hmm. Nadia?
Yeah, here in our discussion, I have some lack of areas of men's integration, because in my opinion, we need to discuss with men also. It's not only we are fighting to be important part of the society, we need also to open the discussion with men and convince them or educate them, it's better, educate them that women are equal. Yeah. It's only a question of yeah, if it's a woman or man, but qualifications, specialty, the knowledge, possibilities of growing, of giving something to the corporates or organization is the same from the women and men. Maybe the only difference is the maternity part, of course, but I think if we are creative, we can set the problem. It's not really a big barrier.
This is, I am sure. My question is whether there is a possibility of any change because of the greater proportion of women in tech.
Regulations.
Okay.
I will be very strict.
Please go forward.
Maybe it's because of my previous experience. Now I am on the other side of the business, and I think in the good part, because we invest on social enterprises, yeah, who realize the impact. But before, I worked for big companies, business companies on the Polish market, and I observed many bad things, because I was a manager or the head of department in very technical companies very often, or production companies. And yeah, it's true that women don't really have the voice. They are very operational, but they don't have a voice. So probably regulation could change something.
Oh, in this sense, that regulation can bring actually more women on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And this is the beginning, because the governance, in my opinion, in ESG, when we talk about the reports processes, the governance is the most important. Because if you have a sustainable governance, you will have a sustainable social and environmental part. Because in the governance is the decision. And if it's no decision, it's no changes.
Okay, so we have right now at least two aspects open. One is the regulation, whether we actually are for it and what could be role of it, standards versus the regulations enforced by the authorities. And the second about the maybe uniqueness, perspectives and values that the woman can bring into the change of the world. So Katarzyna, do you have a specific like thoughts on that? Or
Yes.
any of these two aspects?
Yes, a bit referring to the previous panel, because I like this distinction between a bottom-up and a top-down approach. Yes, so top-down when we talk about the regulations, and I think that currently they are needed, unfortunately. So the situation is so bad that they are needed, and this is, as you mentioned, this is just the beginning. Yes, just to make a small shift towards the wrong direction. I'm not enthusiastic about the parity things. I rather would like to think that we are simply equal, and the skills and the values that we bring decide where we are. But the world is not working that way, so that's why this this top-down approach is needed. But I would like to also raise the other direction, so bottom-up. So I think the women also need to change something in their mind, and I know it because I went through this path, and I know how it is important, and we can do a lot by ourselves, yeah, without the regulations even. We need to speak up. Yes, we need to be heard. We need to always tell what we think and don't be afraid of it. Yeah, of this. And of course, it comes with experience. Yes, so I'm in the business for 20 years and even more. So I remember my beginning. So I wasn't so self-confident. But now I can tell you that I am invited always to sit at the table with men. So I feel really equal. But I don't like that I had to, that it took so long, in fact, to reach this position. But today we had a discussion during the workshops with young generation, and what is really optimistic that they have completely different, they are starting from a completely different standpoint. Yes, so it was obvious for them that this was so-called Zoomer generation. It was so obvious that we are equal. I don't know what you are talking about. What is the problem? I always speak up, and I'm heard, and so on. So maybe it will come. But coming back to what we can do, I would encourage all women that are not so self-confident to use mentoring initiatives. There is really a huge offer on the market, and even if it's not, you can find your mentor just Googling or looking on LinkedIn. You can look for some scholarships. There are really a lot of them. Not only for women, also for men, so this is good news for everybody, I think. Yeah, and I think this is important, that we should be proactive, not just waiting for the governance, but just do the job and stand for yourself. Yeah.
Sure. Your individual story obviously says that. I do, though, think that the system tends to replicate itself. Also through the education, etc. So even if the standing point is different, once the younger generation will enter the job market and won't see the instruments that will actually help maintain this equality that they get used to during the formation process, it will change obstacles, to say the least. But it's also about. So it's not only about your individual approach and what you can do for yourself, but what we can do from the systemic perspective to actually achieve the change. And what is your thoughts on that, Adrian? About
Yeah. I want to also start from this, because this is strongly related to my experience, and I see that we have also own biases and beliefs that we have built not by ourselves, but this is like kind of a gift granted by generations, but short story of our education, and we don't have such a supportive environment in the school. We do not have psychological education at schools at all. So this is not a huge surprise for me, and this is not something that that is probably it's quite obvious for all of us. But what I see, and you ask about the possibilities and the perspective of changes, what I see as well is the perspective of leadership, what we can bring to leadership, also from the stereotypes that we can have and we can see in the society, that women are sometimes treated as more emotional and are seen by so emotional, and they can sometimes cry at work, and this is not something that we want to see, and this is definitely not something that we want to deal at work. So maybe it will be better and safer not to promote a women to leader, because this will be something maybe risky in the future. But I see that change now, and this is great, and I hope this will go forward and will be strengthened in the future, that the empathic leadership is promoted, and we can see and we can learn how including emotions in leadership and leading teams and businesses in general can help to develop them, to gain more income, to be more successful. So we can break those stereotypes that being a man means being successful, and being a girl means you probably cry a lot and have too much emotion. So this is not welcomed in a business environment. I see the opposite, and this is great news and great change.
Thanks. I got a signal that we are like only a few minutes left, and we only started on so many issues.
I want to say that we also should show that we get support from men, because men really supported us. A man like our partner, but also our business partner. And it's important to push men. Sure.
Well, I do believe that feminism is an answer, like this inner understanding of the equalness. Yes,
I would say not feminism, but maybe partnership.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
That's another way of phrasing it.
No, it's not the other phrase, because men support us also. Because if we running business, we need to support in our partners. So it could be connecting partnership. We also should show that man who supported us in a business aspect, because we have in our environment that man, yeah?
Do you have?
So yeah, so the main condition that I always put when I enter some new project, some new business, this is partnership. Yes. This is the key word, yes, and it works really. Now I am working with this is a 3 people team. We are so-called key management team, yes, and this is me and my 2 male colleagues, and we worked it out, yes, the way we work together, the way we partner each other, support each other, and it works really perfect. So I can say from this standpoint that it is possible that sometimes it can be really nice and supportive environment, and but what it should be, what I should also highlight is the fact that I really worked on it. Yeah, so it didn't came alone. Yeah, so I had to work it out with them.
Nadia, I noticed you were going to add something.
For an additional input here, that we need to remember that we have many other industries, and I think the most of them in Poland are not open for such changes. So I'm very optimistic because I observe really a big activity and a power from women, communities of women. But we need to work more on other industries and I think we need to be patient, because in my opinion, the Polish market is almost young market. We are now from 88, it's the first time when we are talking about succession of companies. So if we compare to other countries in Europe, we are really on the beginning of changes. And maybe this is the positive point, that it will happen, for sure, because we observe also that more and more women are interested by IT and cybersecurity industries and graduation. But it's true also that I think the reskilling part, what was discussed before on the previous panel, will be also important, for example, for the IT part, because we have in numbers a lot of technical girls who finished, of course, biotechnology, mathematics. We have it, we have them, but probably we need to educate or to empower, to mentor those women to go to new and future technologies, because they will be probably ready for the reskilling. It will be easier than to begin from zero with girls.
I think this optimistic point of view at the end is the perfect moment to end up our discussion. Thank you very much. I ask you for a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We only touched upon a number of topics which are to be discussed somewhere else during this event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your point and for complete embrace, the way you embraced so many different things in such a short period of time. It's very, very great. And absolutely another round of applause for the moderator who handled the discussion absolutely amazingly. Thank you very much for the way you tried to make our wonderful women shine in the panel discussion and actually ask them about their opinions. Thank you for that. We are rearranging the stage for the GPC, so if you are a judge by any chance, we are asking you to come closer to us. Don't hide somewhere in the back row. You're gonna get a fancy table and some water, so you know who doesn't love that. Yes, and while we are doing that, I'm going to take this moment, and it's a bit risky. there's not a lot of you here, and I hope you're going to stay in your places while I'm going to be saying that. Please do, please don't leave. But the beer, the happy hours have started on the rooftops. So once no, you stay in place. Don't move. I'm watching you, okay? Don't leave. We want to have your input. Maybe there's going to be a Q&A from the audience. You never know. Stay in place. All right, thank you. Anyway, we have the happy hours, and right after the pitch slot, you will be able to go there and get the beer or kombucha from our partners. So make sure you check it out. The weather is still nice. It's still very sunny outside, which is a shock for today. So make sure you get that sunlight, stay hydrated with beer, of course. And without further ado, I will let my colleague, Monika, to take over. Monika, a couple of words. Oops.